Vegas, baby. February 10th, 11th, and 12th. I will be at Harrah's Casino. I was there about 6 months ago. I didn't see you there. Come on, guys. February 10th, 11th, and 12th. Come see me at Harrah's Casino. And also, don't forget, I'll be in Atlantic City on February 3rd. And I'll be at Foxwoods Casino February 4th. And I'll be at your house shortly thereafter.
Put your name on it. Just put your name on it. That's all I say. Be a man or a woman. Put your name on it.
Well, I'd like to hear about it, potheads.
How the fuck you gonna know how to be great if you don't study greatness? Look at the game tape.
Donuts. Why aren't you guys following me on Twitter anymore? I'm posting on Twitter, Mohr Sports 37. My guest is on Twitter, IKP Anderson.
At IKP Anderson, yes.
Is that sound going to kill us? Was it okay?
Will it go away in a little bit? Or?
It's fucking construction, Cohen. Who knows what's going to happen? Yeah, you know construction guys. They work for about 20 minutes and they just wrap it up.
What's the amazing thing about your neighborhood is like you start working your way into the neighborhood and eventually just every other car breaks off the road except for white trucks with lawnmowers and ladders in the back.
All right, we've closed the garage door. Apparently my neighborhood is like the Lower East Side of Manhattan 1920 with immigrants with fucking push carts.
It is. People
Hot dogs! Hey, there's goddamn vendors out there.
And when the sun goes down, they all just turn around and make a line all the way back to East L.A. It's insane.
You said the cars peel off and the only cars left.
Yeah,
I couldn't hear you over the drilling.
Yeah, it's just me, and I was like, am I going to mow JJ's lawn? Why am I?
I guess everyone in my neighborhood just takes their cars and goes to work.
Yep.
And then during the day, there's a Mexican food truck that pulls up. It's called Kiki's. Mm-hmm. And I swear to God, I'm in my own home and I hear and I'm like, I thought that was just something racist white people did to make fun of Latin people. No. But that guy pulls his shit up and hits that lunchtime horn and he's up and running.
See, I hear that in the morning in my neighborhood because it's my neighbor getting ready to get in his truck and go to your house.
It's not his horn. He's just so happy. He just walks out of the house. KP lives in Beverly Hills adjacent.
No, I moved to the Valley, man.
I know.
Yeah.
You're Valley Village?
Valley Village, South North Hollywood.
And you put a pool into your house.
I put a pool in, yes.
You had a great line when we were at the Kings game. You said you spent...
I spent $250,000 on my house to get it up to 10,000. It's worth. This is why I write and don't fucking perform anymore.
Watch this. Well, it never happened.
Yeah,
I understand you put a pool in your house.
Yes, I did. I got it. I spent $250,000 on my house. Got it up to $10,000 less than what it's worth, than what I paid for it.
You want me to take a swing at it?
Yeah, one more. Let's do it again.
You want me to try it?
Now, yeah, you do it. See? KP, tell me what my great line was when I had 2 Jack and Cokes in me.
KP Anderson is the guy that saved the soup. When you watch the soup and it's funny, it's because of this guy that's on More Stories today. Happy Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever day you're listening to this. We have no sponsors. If you want to sponsor us, holler. Get Matt Cohen. Matt at smodcast.com. Get in touch with him. But KP Anderson and I met. He was one of the executive producers of Mohr Sports. Prior to that, he is an Emmy Award-winning producer of the Wayne Brady Show.
A daytime Emmy Award winning.
He's a daytime Emmy Award. Is that like? Yeah. Is that it's still an Emmy? I would have that shit out on the hood of my car.
You were the executive producer of Mohr Sports. I was supervising producer. I was
all right. I'm trying to juice the resume a little for you.
I know. It's nice of you to
do
that.
Is daytime Emmy like?
Then people go on IMDb and they go, "Oh, they're fucking lying about that." And then
they probably would.
Yeah.
We got a pretty positive crew behind this.
Yeah.
Podcast-wise, yeah, it's pretty alarmingly positive.
I've actually noticed that. I've noticed, like, when you look at the comments, when you look at, when people talk about this podcast, it is probably the most, like, podcasts in general, you're not going to go to the trouble of downloading it, listening to it, figuring out how to plug your fucking iPod into your car dash thing so you can listen to it on the drive to work, unless it's something you really want to hear. So you got your actual fans are out there listening to this, which is kind of a sweet relief from the rest of the internet, ultimately.
Yeah, it's appointment listening.
Yeah.
You like my house?
I love your house,
I put $250,000 in this.
This house?
I fucked it up now.
It's an impossible line.
Yeah, Cohen, you want a shot? You know what it is? You know the line?
Ask me about my house. What was it?
Hold the mic closer.
Okay, we got it.
The producer.
Where do you live?
I live down in Beverly Hills. You want to hear it?
Oh, you just put a pool in.
I did, and the crazy thing about that is I put $250,000 into my house. Now it's worth $10,000 less than I paid for it.
Fuck! That's it. That's it.
Me and KP are driving to the Kings game, and he goes, "Yeah, I spent $250,000 on my house. It's worth $10,000 more." But you really are an exceptional writer. You're like the go-to guy. But what you said, you really quickly put a pin in that Emmy.
Yeah.
All right, hold on, wait, time out.
Yeah.
Do you have an Emmy?
I have an Emmy.
The fuck? You and I, you've done the road your whole life, and you go to do like Tempe, Good Morning Phoenix, and they're like, "This is Jim. He has 14 Emmys," and you're like, "Really? I thought, didn't Edie Falco win? Like, how does a girl named Jim?"
Well, this is the thing.
They're local. They're daytime local. So there is an actual step below.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's the daytime local technical Emmy.
Yep. And then there's somewhere in there is that weird sports Emmy.
It's like Fred Rogan.
That they
has
just
like
back a thing at Fox Sports.
Fred Rogan.
Yeah, they just go, here you go. Here, take your sports Emmy so that you can put it in your office and you can act like a dick when people walk in.
Yes.
Is what it is. Yeah.
And there's weird Emmys, like the cameraman for Saturday Night Live won an Emmy for the Christopher Walken sketch, The Continental, Would You Care for a Glove? But because the cameraman had to follow Walken through that whole sketch, and he's the guy that acted the female parts out. So it was his hand not holding the camera with the fingernail polish.
Uh-huh.
But I'm like, how does a cameraman win an Emmy? Like, I didn't know there's a category for best cameraman on a sketch after 8 p.m.
Yeah. And there's an Emmy for it. However, here's a weird one. The Talk Soup, the Soup's predecessor.
Yeah.
When they won an Emmy. It's like the only Emmy that's ever been won at E, and they won it, 90 something or another, long before I came along on that thing.
Isn't that just the old name of the soup?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, it was Talk Soup, and then it was nothing after. I think it was either Aisha or Hal who were the last hosts.
Aisha.
Tyler.
Aisha really killed it.
Yeah,
She just drove. She's our next guest too.
Yeah,
and I'm going to bring up to her how you and I just spoke. How she killed the soup.
Yeah, I mean, thank God she cleared the plate. I love Aisha. She's wonderful.
Of course, I love her.
I know.
She's going to be on.
That's right. She's next guest.
No asshole has ever sat in that chair.
Yeah,
it's all buddies.
That's a nice.
That
thing.
is the thing that separates this pod. We never have people in for people's sake.
Yeah, let's clear this up. Jay, let's clear up our years of issues in a 1 hour sitting in your garage. Yeah.
All right, so Talk Soup.
Okay, so Talk Soup. So they won the Emmy, and somehow, some way, like the crew got Emmys when they won the Emmys. Like Tom, Big Tom, the stage manager who's been there. He's been there. He's with us still. He's a fucking amazing guy. And somehow, some way, he's the one guy that's had an Emmy stripped from him. Like where they went, "Oh no, you don't get it. We're sorry, we made a mistake. Send it back." And it's like, you fucking give these to everybody. It's an Emmy. You give them to, just how can you take it away from this wonderful person? And I don't know. I've never really gotten out of him like what the differentiation was, like why they stripped it away. But he was stripped of his Emmy.
But they put his name on the little engraving plaque and everything and sent it over to his house and the bubble wrap.
Yeah, and then looked at the thing and went, "Oh, that was that."
I think it's because USC gave his family a house in Carlsbad.
That could be.
They found out he had to give back his Emmy, his Heisman.
That's right.
And then he got traded to the Dolphins. He's moonlighting.
He has been clearly sanctioned ever since.
He's been moonlighting on the Dolphins. You think he's just doing soup.
Yep, we are.
So you work with that son of a bitch, Joel McHale. I only say that out of
He's a prick. You won't see him in this garage.
He is just insufferable. I actually really love Joel McHale. I've met him many times. He's alarmingly tall when you meet him. He's alarmingly handsome when you meet him. He's way too thin for a guy that's tall and handsome.
Yep.
With a beautiful wife and a baby. And oh, by the way, he has 14 fucking jobs.
Yeah. So
hey,
clearly,
Mikhail, you don't need to be in Spy Kids 3. I do. Maybe spend 2 weeks at home with maybe go to Legoland with the tot. Because I need the money. I want to put a pool in and lower my house value by 10 grand. This fucking guy has more jobs than Anthony Quinn when he was alive. Is Anthony Quinn alive?
I don't know.
Wow, I was kind of I should choose a different name.
I think he's dead.
That's why you're the writer.
Yeah, I know.
I chose the worst name. This guy's got more jobs than a than Nick Swardson. He's got a lot of jobs.
Nick has a lot of jobs.
He's coming on the podcast too.
Is he?
So daytime Emmy, Wayne Brady.
I was the headliner. I was the headliner. Nick's first night doing stand-up comedy in Minneapolis. When he walked on as a high school student, I went, "Hey, can I do a little bit of time?" I was like, "Yeah,
Diarrhea.
fucking whatever. Don't burn everybody out." And then he just fucking killed.
Diarrhea.
Yeah.
My cat has diarrhea, and my vet says, "What do you feed him?" I said, "Diarrhea." It's my favorite joke. Attell and I sat here and we talked about how some towns, like there's a weird comedy town like Denver.
Yeah.
It's not a place you would think there'd be like a line of guys that could open for you that are great.
Yeah.
And there's weird towns like Austin. Great comics in Austin.
Yep.
But like me and Attell were talking about this briefly, but it was like a 2.5 hours like fucking like Exile on Main Street long podcast.
With Attell, you do that podcast though, because he's never
it was one of our favorites ever.
Yeah.
But there's some towns or states that just produce comics that go under the radar. You only think L.A. and New York.
Yeah.
Boston had like the huge boom.
Yeah.
But Minnesota, Louis Anderson, Mitch Hedberg, you,
Nick
Swardson,
Jeff Cesario. Got Jackie Cation, Maria Bamford.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's more than you could say for Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Quality-wise,
Yeah.
like, okay, you got Louis Anderson. He's your guy that's going to headline Vegas for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
Granted, the casino keeps kind of slipping down the rungs of the ladder. He wasn't, he wasn't like the Paris, then he went to like Harrah's, and then he went to like Bally's, and now he's Circus, and now he's at Palace Station where OJ got arrested.
Exactly.
Palace Station, I think John Moore once wrote this, Palace Station is the Palace Station of casinos.
Every time. every time Louis drives through Prim on his way, he goes, "Oh, this commute is about to get so much shorter." Because
that's good.
You just know that's where it's headed. And
he's going to get south. He's going to move his way out to South Point, Buffalo Bills, South Point. For those of you in the rest of the country, these are I-15 jokes.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Well, that place is amazing. The Mad Greek Bun Boy. He's outside the world's largest thermometer in Baker. Then he's at that fucking weird Starbucks McDonald's radio station in Barstow.
You think you're here to win? Picture the size of your house and think about this. Oh, never mind.
Hey, Victorville! What are we doing in Hesperia? Hey! Victorville and Hesperia, one of those towns, for those of you not in L.A., my wife always says there's two towns, L.A., New York, and then it's just everywhere else.
Yeah.
Like, where are you from? Not L.A. or New York? Not really. I don't really care. Yeah. Well, I'm from the outskirts of Chicago. We're done.
Yeah, we have nothing
to... That's it. L.A., what part? New York, what part? Minnesota?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Minnesota. It's a city.
So daytime Emmy.
Yes, daytime Emmy. So,
is it a separate whole day of giving out awards? Did you go?
No, I didn't go because...
Did Wayne Brady go?
Well, I think Wayne hosted, but here's the thing. It was like my whole genesis of the Wayne Brady show. It was after Mohr Sports, and Morty, our executive producer on Mohr Sports, brought me over to be the head writer on the Brady show. And then Morty and I both lasted 9 months. I lasted a little longer than he did, and we were both politely shown the door. And
why?
The greatest thing Morty's ever done for another human being.
Bob Morton did Letterman for 21 years. How does he get kicked off Wayne Brady?
Apparently, the show was costing too much money, basically. But that was, in a sense, sort of it was a 5-day-a-week daytime talk show. And Wayne's greatest strength. This was by design.
I know Wayne's greatest strength.
What's that?
Pleasing people.
Yeah. No, I mean his
random acts of kindness.
Yeah, but
Senseless acts of beauty is Wayne Brady's biggest strength.